Okay, in the previous class, we were discussing about transmission line. So at RF and microwave frequency, we cannot treat the interconnect. That is, the interconnect means used to connect the source to the load. We cannot simply treat it as a short circuit. Okay, we have to treat it as a transmission line. See, like this, as we discussed in the previous class. So that a small, even in the order of or centimeter, behaves like a transmission line with a proper, with its own characteristics. Okay, like some parameters. It has a like a z naught, propagation constant, gamma, and also other parameters. So we cannot treat simply it as a short circuit. Because of that, so the impedance matching also. So if you want to transfer maximum power from one point to another point within our network or a circuit like this, it may be like this or anything like that. So this is a like a receiver. In the receiver there are many connections are there. Okay, from one device to another device, or from one circuit to another circuit. So there is a interconnect here. This interconnect, it doesn't simply behaves like a short, simple short. We have to treat it as a transmission line. Okay, so once we treat it as a transmission line for maximum power transfer from one circuit to the next circuit, because our signals must flow from one point to another point. Okay, so from here, this is the antenna, receives the signal. So again here is a transmission line here, this transmission line. Okay, so signal should be carried from here to here. There is a transmission line. So for maximum, similarly from here to here, for maximum power transfer, so what we needed, always we expect output of this must be delivered to the mixer circuit. Okay, to get that maximum power transfer from here to here, this ZS must be complex conjugate of this. If it is a short circuit, simple short, then we can simply ZS is a complex conjugate of this. That is ZL means here input impedance of the mixer circuit. So this is the input impedance of the mixer circuit. That is a load for the source. LNA is the source. It has an impedance, output impedance is ZS. Okay. So this if it is a simple short, this connection, then we can treat ZS must be complex conjugate with that. But this is behaving like a transmission line at RF and microwave frequency. It has a characteristic impedance Z0, see, like mentioned. So it is a unique for that particular transmission line, and as it depends upon its physical structure. So to get a maximum power transfer from from here to here, what is needed is this ZS must be matched with a Z0. Okay, then what happens, this LNA transfers maximum power to the transmission line. Next, to get a maximum power transfer from here to the mixer circuit, this ZL, input impedance of this mixer, must be matched with a Z0. Then maximum power will transfer from here to here. Okay, so like this, we have to consider this Z0, transmission line characteristic impedance, to get a maximum power transfer from here to here. So this is happens in all the circuit, most of our circuits, in maybe connection of devices, components, or whatever it is. So there is a transmission line. So we should take care of this matching. Otherwise, maximum power we cannot expect. Okay. So this, so now we will see what is this Z0 and propagation constant gamma. Okay, now why we should consider this effect of this interconnect. Okay, so that also we discussed in the previous class. So there are different type of transmission lines, but their theory is common for all these two conductor transmission lines. So what we are studying here, two conductor theory, that is in the next sections, that is common for all these transmission lines, like a coaxial, two-wire, or it may be microstrip line. Okay. Okay, so in the previous class we were discussing like transmission line, why this Z0 will be there and propagation constant is there. That is why this is why we cannot treat this simply as a short circuit, that we were discussing. That is because of this small piece of wire. See, for example, like this. This is a transmission line. So, this is our transmission line, interconnect. What we are using, this is a transmission line, two wire line. It is a two conductor line. It is like this, like what we have here. See this. This is the one what I expanded that here. Okay. So if you consider a small piece of that is a delta x. Take a small length over that. That is a delta x here. Okay. Like similarly, we can divide that entire. See, like this one. This is the one what we have interconnect here. Okay, this can be divided into small elemental length. Small elemental length. See, like this one, delta x. See, like this. This is the what I have here. It is connected to load here ZL, and this side it is connected to the source. So this is a transmission line here. You can divide this into a small elemental length like this, delta x. So like delta x can be very small. We can assume delta x tends to 0. Okay, very small elemental length. So this small elemental length at RF and microwave frequency. See, like this small elemental length delta x. It is I have taken this small elemental length delta x from here to here. It behaves like a cascade. Behaves like a combination of all these components. It has a L into series inductor is there, as I said in the previous class, and also it has a resistance and conductance and capacitor. Okay, so these values R, L, C, G, these are expressed in terms of per unit length. Of this per unit length, how much inductor is there? This is a infinite length. See, it may be of any length. Okay, per unit length. For example, this may be of 10 centimeter. For example, from ear to ear, it is a 10 centimeter. Per centimeter, how much inductor it offers? Per centimeter, how much is the resistance? Per centimeter, how much is the conductance? Like that. Or they may express how much inductor R, L, L, C, R, and C, G per mm also. At a high frequency, if in terms of it may be in the order of centimeter, mm, or it may be in the order of meter. For example, in our receivers, the circuit length may be small. It may be in the order of mm or a centimeter, that interconnect. So that RLCG is expressed per mm also or per centimeter. So how much is the inductor per centimeter? For example, L is equal to 2 Henry per centimeter. Okay, so then if there is a 2 centimeter is there, then it offers 4 Henry. Okay, by the time you reach here, for example, this is 1 centimeter, this is 1 centimeter. Per centimeter, how much it introduces inductor? It may be 2 Henry. Example. Okay, so like that, per unit length, how much is the inductor, resistance? Okay, those values they will be specified like that. So if you know the length of the one, you can calculate how much is the inductor offered by that particular transmission line. For example, L is equal to 2 Henry per centimeter. Okay, if the length of the line is equal to 3 centimeters, then the total inductor is equal to 3 centimeter per centimeter. It offers a inductance of 2 Henry. So it is 6, 3 into 6, 3 into 2, that is a 6 Henry, 6 Henry, if the length of the line is equal to 3 centimeters. Like that you can calculate. So the value of L, R and is increases as the length increases. Okay, so all these values are expressed in terms of per unit length. Unit length may be mm, centimeter, meter or anything. Okay, so because of these values, and these values depends upon the structure, as I discussed in the previous class. The values of per unit length, it offers a particular value of inductor, resistance or capacitor. That depends upon this structure. So this is the structure here. So radius of these and the spacing between the two conductors are there. For example, coaxial cable, it has an inner conductor and a outer conductor. In between the two there is a gap is there, that may be filled with any dielectric material. Okay, it may be air or it may be filled with some dielectric material. So these conductors have particular diameter. Inner conductor has a diameter, outer conductor has a diameter. So all these decides the characteristics, that is L, C, G and R. All that how much inductor, capacitor they offer per unit length, that is depends upon the values of these what I said now. Similarly for this also, for this also, this is also a microstrip line. Okay, so for all these transmission lines we can calculate L, C, G and R using the structure dimensions. Okay, so this those equations and all we will see in the next class, how they are related to the physical dimensions. That table is there, I will provide you the table. Okay, using that table the expressions are there for every transmission line for values of L, R, C. Substituting the dimensions you can find out what are these values. Okay, so now because as the signal travels, so the signal, so at RF and microwave frequency, the signal transmission, it feels like it is passing through all these components. Okay, so each small length delta x, see it behaves like a combination like this. So automatically if you divide that overall length, see like the small elemental length, delta x may tends to 0. There are this is represented by one section like this, so this is represented by another section like this. So the overall transmission line, see this is the one what we are using as an interconnect or for connecting purpose. It looks like it is a cascade connection of like this circuits. See, this is a one circuit, this is representing this delta x. Similarly, this is a next delta x. So this is connected to the next circuit here. So like that, it is a cascade connection of these network. Actually, this is like a symmetric network, symmetric T network. See, if you consider this is one R, this is another R, and this is a parallel one. So this is looking like a T network here. This one symmetric T network. This is same as this one. Okay. So if you take a reference as this point, it is a symmetric T network. So it is an interconnection of symmetric T network. That overall transmission line looks like this. Okay. We cannot simply treat it as a short. It is a combination of all these. So our signal traveling over that, it is passing through all these components. Because of that, automatically there is a decrease in the amplitude of the signal and change in the phase of the signal by the time it is delivered to the ZL. So based on the length of this line, the amplitude coming out here, amplitude and phase of that signal depends on overall length of the one. So as I said, it is all these components are expressed per unit length. So as the length increases, that values go on adding. So automatically the signal by the time it reaches here, it has a change in its amplitude as well as a change in the phase of the signal. So this is the equivalent circuit of transmission line. So in the examination, if they ask, the question may be asked for 2 marks or 3 marks. Write the equivalent circuit of a transmission line at RF and microwave frequency. So you have to write this. See, here is a L multiplied by dx, because per unit length we are taking. Per unit length how much inductor it offers. Okay, because we have taken a length is equal to delta x. So the total inductor offered is equal to L into delta x, because that inductor depends upon the length of the line. If the length of the line is 1 centimeter, it is per unit length multiplied by 1 centimeter. If the length is 2 centimeter, then this is a delta x is 2 centimeter. Per unit length how much? It is a L. Okay, L multiplied by this distance gives the overall inductor offered by that particular length. So that's why we did it like this. L multiplied by dx. Why it is? It is because per unit length it offers a L Henry per unit length. So if the length of the line is delta x, so you should multiply this by whatever the length of the line you were taken. So L into delta x. Similarly, this R also. Okay, that's why it is G delta x. Okay, whatever this delta x we taken, it may be 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, or whatever delta x, or it may be very small, in the order of mm also. So that should multiply with the 1 to get a inductance offered by this particular length. What is the inductor offered by this particular length? Similarly, what is the resistance offered by this particular length? It may be 1 centimeter. You can divide it to 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, 1 centimeter, or it may be 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter like that. Okay. If it is 1 centimeter length you are taken, then it multiplied by L into 1 centimeter. Okay. So like that. So all these values you should that's why it is L into delta x. So it is a cascade connection of many such network. It is a cascade connection of T network. So the signal passes here, and because of all these components, it will be having a difference in phase and amplitude here. Okay. So that characteristic impedance, as I said in the previous class, every transmission line has a characteristic impedance. See this. So this characteristic impedance must be matched with the ZS I told. So it is very important, this Z0. So that Z0 depends upon this LRCG. If you know these values, you can calculate the that characteristic impedance. Okay. So that we will see that equation and all. Okay. So now see, now what happens here, the signal, okay, the signal travels over this transmission line. It is a and this is a 1, it is incident. The signal traveled and it is incidenting over the ZL. Other side is connected to the load here, ZL, and a part of the wave reflect back like this. A part of the wave reflect back. That depends upon the value of this ZL. That depends on the value of this ZL. How much reflection is there? Okay. It may be see, this is a transmission line. Okay. Incident wave incident over the ZL here. What we are expecting, this entire wave must be dissipated in the ZL, but because of mismatch, if ZL is not matched with the Z0, a reflected wave will be there. See, it is going like this, it is going opposite, it will go like this, okay, in the opposite direction. And this VIN, it is coming like this, it is coming like this, okay, and incidenting here. If because of mismatch, it is a reflected wave will be going like this. Okay, amplitude and phase of this signal. See, this is amplitude and phase of this reflected wave depends upon the value of ZL. Okay, so that how much will be reflected back? Okay, based on the value of this ZL. Okay, there is a equation is there that you can calculate. If you know the ZL value and Z0 value, we can calculate how much reflection will be there and what is the phase of this reflected wave. All those things we can calculate. Okay, because the reflection here, this reflected wave amplitude and phase depends on ZL. How much this ZL deviates from Z0 says the reflected amplitude and phase. So we should have a relation. We should know. We should have relation. If ZL is given, Z0 is given, we can calculate how much is the reflected wave, or how much this reflected wave deviates from VIN in terms of its amplitude and phase. See, this is the wave incident here. Okay, it has a particular amplitude and phase. With respect to this incident, reflected and incident wave, what is the phase and amplitude of this? How much it deviates in amplitude and how much it deviates in phase with respect to this VIN, that we can calculate. If you know ZL and Z0, there is a relation. Okay, we have to derive that relation. What is the relation? Okay, as I said, this phase and amplitude related to this ZL. Then what is the relation between this ZL and Z0? Okay, so if you know ZL and Z0, we can calculate phase and amplitude of this reflected wave with respect to that. with respect to the incident wave. That relation we can derive. Okay, so that we will see how to derive the relation between this reflected wave amplitude and phase with respect to this in terms of ZL and Z naught. So without that mathematical equation, we cannot get how much the value of this reflected wave, because usually we want that before connecting this ZL, we want to know how much is the difference between how much signal will be reflected back. That we want to know. Okay, so we have to derive the relation between these two and these two, because the deviation here depends upon ZL and Z naught. Now we see, okay, so we will see how to get a relation between the ZL and Z naught. Okay, to get if you know the ZL and Z naught, we can come to know what is the phase difference between these two and phase amplitude difference between these two. That relation we have to derive. Okay, that we will see how to derive it. And also here the waves travel like this. See, incident wave is there and reflected wave is there. So in the earlier what we were looking in the low frequency and RF, only incident wave will be there. See, like this, wave will be going like this. But here is a reflected is also there. Now we can see at every point over this line. See, this is a line, transmission line here. A signal is traveling in this direction. That is the incident wave is going like this. But reflect after incidenting over this, because of mismatch, reflected wave is going like this. So on the transmission line, see, on the transmission line, at any time there are two waves are there. One is an incident wave and the reflected wave going like this. Okay, assuming this is matched, assuming source is matched, assuming this is ZL is not matched, then in such a case at least one is an incident wave going like this, another is reflecting wave is going like this. So if you want to find out voltage at any point over this transmission line, see, this is at any instant of time, there are two waves are traveling over this line. One is in the forward direction, another is in the backward direction like this. Okay, so voltage at any point over this transmission line. For example, if you want to measure voltage at this position, or it may be here or anywhere, what is the voltage between these two? If you want to measure what is the voltage here, we will be connecting the multimeter from here to here between this voltage of this position. Okay, so automatically it is the addition of these two waves. Voltage at any position here or here, any position, it is the addition of two waves. Okay, so two waves are there, a forward wave and in the backward wave here. Okay, that is there. So addition of these two waves is the overall voltage on this transmission line. Okay, we cannot simply like traveling wave or traveling only forward wave is there like this. We cannot say, because reflected wave is also going like this. Okay, so at any position or at any time, the if you try to measure voltage between the voltage across this, it is the addition of these two waves. Okay, so and also what we can see here, the wave is traveling like this, incident wave, and this is the wave. The source is connected here. The wave travels like this. Amplitude of this wave go on increasing like this. Is it audible? Hello? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this wave incident, the source connected here, the wave is transmitted like this. Okay, but because of these components, you see, this is R is there and L is there. The wave while traveling like this, is amplitude go on reduces like this. Amplitude of the signal, incident wave, what we are seeing here, incident wave. amplitude of the incident wave go on decreases as the distance increases. See, this is the distance, x direction, forward wave, that is called, this is called as the forward wave, okay, towards the load, and its amplitude decreases as it travels over the transmission line. As the distance increases, amplitude of this wave decreases like this. But now you see, this is a reflected wave, okay, this reflected wave, it is started here, generated here at the load, and it is moving in the opposite direction towards the source. So automatically it generated here, and while traveling like this, its amplitude decreases as the distance decreases. See, distance is like this, okay, we are moving like towards the source. Towards the source we are moving for this wave. So this amplitude of this decreases as we move towards the source. But incident wave, amplitude of incident wave decreases as we move towards the load here. So distance notation is very important here with respect to this incident wave and a reflected wave. So if you consider, usually what we will do, this is we are taking as a x is equal to 0 here. This is x is equal to 0, and as a negative value of x like this, okay, that is distance decreases here, okay, here distance increases here, distance increases here. So here as a distance increases, this amplitude should decrease, but here as a distance decreases, amplitude of this should decrease, okay, for the reflected, because it started here and it is moving like this. So amplitude of this wave decreases as you move like this, okay. So at any instant of time, there are assuming this is a matched, source is matched. Source is matched means, do not confuse, here this ZS is matched with the Z0, okay. So that case I am considering this ZS is matched with Z0, but ZL is not matched with the Z0, okay, Z0 is not matched with ZL, but this ZS is matched with the Z0, so there is no reflection here, power from the source delivered to the transmission line, but because Z0 is not matched with the ZL, there is a reflection here, there is a reflection takes place, okay. So now here, so the this is a voltage wave what I indicated. So at any point we cannot simply treat this signal is there and the voltage is equal to the corresponding to this voltage, because there are two waves are moving, one in the opposite direction and of the same frequency. See, this is a incident wave, it has some particular frequency. Reflected wave has a frequency. Frequency doesn't change after reflection. This is the frequency of the signal does not changes, only amplitude and phase of this changes. So at any instant of time, if you consider there is two waves are traveling over the transmission line. One is a incident wave, another is a reflected wave. So at any position, the voltage is the addition of these two signals. Similarly, current is also addition of there are two currents are there. One is the incident current. If you write, instead of considering voltage, if you consider a current, there are two currents. One is a current flowing like this, another is a current going like this. So current is the addition of incident current and the reflected current. So automatically voltage and current variations are there here. Voltage variation and current variation. So that is the impedance also changes over this, because impedance at any position depends upon the voltage. Impedance at any position depends upon the voltage here. So voltage you measure here, it is addition of these two waves. Similarly, take a current ratio. Current is also addition of incident current and the reflected current. Okay, and take a ratio of those two, that gives the impedance here. So impedance also here changes here. So addition of this reflected and incident, and incident wave amplitude decreases here as you move like this. So automatically voltage variation is there. It is not constant over the entire length of this. See, as you travel like this, it is addition of these two. Automatically addition of these two voltage is not same over the entire length here. it will change as the distance changes. Okay, similarly impedance also doesn't remain the same. For example, if you measure impedance here, it is not same as impedance measured here, because the voltage changes. Okay, so voltage and current is there. Okay, reflected wave is there, so that it happens here. So now we will see, for example, if I want to find out what is the voltage here, what is the voltage here, what is the voltage here, if someone want to find out what is the voltage here or here or here, it is a function of distance. So voltage, if you measure here, addition of reflected and incident again, but it depends upon at what distance you are measuring from the source. This is the source here, so it is the addition of reflected and incident, and depends on the distance, at what distance you are measuring. Similarly here, okay, voltage and current, they are the function of distance. Okay, if you measure the voltage here, it is not same as the voltage measured here. Okay, that it depends upon the distance. Hello. 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 Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Some
Audible, ma'am.
disturbance is there outside. Some disturbance is there. Okay. Is it clear now? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So voltage and current, they are the function of distance here. Function of distance. As you move here over this line, the voltage and current values changes. They do not remain the same. And also impedance also doesn't remain same. If you measure impedance here, it is different. You see now, if you take here, this is a circuit what we have. Okay, if you measure the impedance here or voltage here is different from voltage what we are measuring here. They are not same. Similarly, as you move like this, voltage varies over this line. Similarly, if you measure the current, that also changes here. Impedance also changes over this line. Okay, that happens at the RF and microwave frequency. But at a low frequency, it does not change. Okay, as we discussed, see like this. If you at a low frequency, if you measure the voltage here or anywhere over here, keep a multimeter here and measure. It is equal to Vs only. If you measure here, it is a Vs only. Okay, it does not change. It remains the same at a low frequency. Okay, if you keep a multimeter here, okay, at a low frequency, its value is Vs only. Okay, or if you measure here, it is a Vs only. It does not change. Okay, it remains the same. But it is not like that in the RF. The voltage measured here is different from voltage here. It depends upon the distance, at what distance you are measuring. Okay, voltage, and also current measured here is different from current measured here. And also it is a function of distance. We can call it as a voltage is a function of distance. Current is also function of distance. Impedance is also function of distance. See here, if you measure impedance, what is the impedance? It is ZL. See, if you connect a 1 meter resistor impedance between these terminals, this is the value, whatever. If you connect here, it is equal to this ZL only. But if you take a transmission line, it is not like that. See, if you measure the impedance here, it is equal to ZL. But if you measure here impedance, it is not equal to ZL. It will change. It depends upon the length at what distance you are from the load. See, it is, if you measured here, it is ZL. But you measure the impedance at somewhere here, at some distance from the load. So this is a ZL. You move like this. Some distance you travel and measure impedance here. It is not equal to ZL. It will change because of a transmission line. Because transmission line has a components RLCG. Because of those, if you measure the impedance here, it is not same as this ZL. But usually what we are expecting, because this is ZL, if you connect, it remains the same. But it doesn't happen like that at RF and microwave. Okay, it is always, if you measure here, it is ZL. But if you measure here, it will change. Okay, is a function of distance. Impedance is also a function of distance. Okay, so now we will see. Okay, impedance, voltage and current, they are the function of distance. Sometimes if we want to measure impedance or a voltage at a particular distance, what is the voltage here, what is the voltage here, or what is the current here, what is the impedance here, if you want to measure that, okay, at some distance from the source, or at some distance from the load, what is the impedance, what is the voltage, what is the current, how to do that. Okay, see, at a low frequency what we do, if I want okay, at a low frequency what we do, Ohm's law we will be applying. What is the current, here, what is the current, what we do, we take for example, this is a resistance and this is a resistance. Current is given by Vs divided by this Rs and RL, Rs plus voltage divided by this Rs and RL, assuming that this is a resistance Rs and this is a RL. Then what is the current here, current going through this, that is given by Vs divided by Rs and Rs plus RL. That is a Ohm's law we are applying, is correct, to find the current here. At a low frequency, how do we do? At low frequency, we should apply the equation, is correct. Without Ohm's law we cannot do. What is this Vs divided by Rs plus RL? That is the Ohm's law. We apply a Ohm's law to get a current here. That is in case of low frequency. We simply apply Ohm's law. That gives the current here. It is the same. You measure a current here, or current over this entire length or over this circuit itself is the same. That is 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 equal to Vs divided by Rs plus RL. Okay, but here we cannot do like that. We cannot apply the Ohm's law here to find out the current. What is the current here? Okay, so we need a equation here. So then how to calculate what is the current here? If I want to find what is the current here, what is the current equation? See, here we know Vs divided by Rs plus RL. Similarly, I want a equation here. If I want to find a voltage here, or a current here, or a impedance here, we should similarly here also we are calculating impedance. We can calculate if you know the current and voltage. But how to get this? What is the equation? We should know the equation, otherwise we cannot do the calculation. Correct? Because many times we come across that we want to find out a voltage here or current here or anywhere over this line. And also I said current, voltage and impedance, they are the function of distance. As we move over the transmission line, they change. Then how to get a relation? We need that equation. Some equation is needed. Okay, so we should know that equation. We have to derive that equation. Okay, so if you know the equation, using those equations we can find out the what is the voltage, what is the current, or what is the impedance. Like here Ohm's law is there. We easily apply that Ohm's law and we will be finding the current here. But as we saw Ohm's law, we simply cannot apply that here. Okay, it is not Vs divided by Zs and Zl. Okay, so then what is the equation? We should know that equation and we want that equation. Okay, how to calculate the V of x? Current I want a current. I want to find out a current. What is how it is related? Okay, and as said, it is a function of distance. So that equation we have to derive here now. Okay, we should obtain the equation. Okay, that means what in the next topic what we will be doing is we will be deriving the expression for voltage, current and impedance. If you know using those equations, we can find out what is voltage, what is the voltage, what is the current value at different positions over the transmission line. See, as we move like this, voltage, current, impedance, everything will be changed. Okay, it is a function of distance. So we should have some equations to calculate those values. Okay, if I want to find out what is the voltage here, if I know the distance from here, from the source, if I know the distance, using that distance value and the equation derived, we can find out what is the voltage here. Okay, so we have to we have our equations. Using those equations, we can find out the voltage, current or impedance at different positions over the transmission line. So we have to derive those equations. Using those equations, we can find out impedance at any position over this transmission line. If you know the distance, at what distance you are measuring the impedance, voltage or a current, from the load or from the source. Okay, so those equations we will get. It is not simply like Vs by Zs and Zl. Okay, we should have a equation. So that how to derive that equation, that we will see. Okay, to do that, to obtain that equation, so what we are doing in the next topic is, we will derive the equation. Using those equations, we can find what is the voltage at a different position over the transmission line. Substituting the distance, at what distance you are measuring that voltage, current or impedance, you can get the value of those parameters using those equations. So now we will see how to derive that equation. So to derive that equation, what we will be doing, see, we will be taking a small section of the transmission line. See, this is a small section of the transmission line, and its equivalent circuit is like this. Okay, that we saw here. So this is a small section of the transmission line here, and we are applying a signal here to the signal enters here. Okay, to the delta x, and it passes through this. Okay, and it will be coming after passing through this. It will coming here. So by the time it by the time it reaches here, its values changes, voltage value or current or it may be impedance changes. So using, if you know that what is how it changes as it moves from here to here, that repeatedly we can apply for any length. Okay, so that's why what we will be doing, we will take a small elemental length here. Okay, like the delta x, and we apply a voltage here. Okay, see, like this, we take a small elemental length and we applied a v of x comma t, I of x comma t. It enters this small piece of transmission line and it passes through this line. Its length is equal to delta x. By passing through this output current, it is, what is the current? We don't know this. What is this value? We don't know. What is the current at x plus delta x after traveling this distance? What is the value of current? We don't know. So simply keep it as I of x plus delta x. At entering point, it is I of x comma t, and traveling a distance delta x means the current is I of x plus delta x comma t. Okay, so what is the current here? Similarly, voltage also, we applied a voltage v of x comma t at this position x, but traveling a distance, it is x plus delta. So after traveling delta x, what is the voltage here? That we have to find out. We don't know this. What is this? Okay, so how to find out this? So what we will do, we will take this is very small elemental length, infinitesimal length of TL, small elemental length. Okay, so as we know, this is represented by a circuit like this. This is the equivalent circuit of that. So we will now analyze. Okay, once the signal x comma t enters here, it is passing through all these components. Automatically, by the time it reaches the output, whatever you are observing here, depends on all these parameters. Whatever the voltage here. So same, this part is represented by this. Okay, network. So this whatever I have written here, it is same as this. But for the analysis, we should know these things. Okay. So what we are doing, we are sending v of x comma t, and they pass us through this. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is a network now. It is a network now. Okay, what is the voltage across these two terminals? That we have to find out. Okay, that we should find, because we have taken, it is a very small transmission line, we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law or Ohm's law, because we are not taken entire transmission line. Okay, small elemental length we were taken, so we can apply voltage, Kirchhoff law voltage law or current law. Now to find out this, what is this voltage. So this is a network. Now this is a network, is correct. So our signal we are applied here, V of x comma t, it passes through this. This is the output. What is the output? Output is V of x plus delta x comma t. So then what is this value? Assume we know all this. Okay, if the applied voltage is here, what is the voltage across this terminal? That we can easily calculate. Is correct. Ohm's law or the current law, applying Ohm's law or Kirchhoff voltage law or Kirchhoff current law. Okay, this is because we have taken a small elemental length, we were not taken entire length. Okay, small elemental length. Over that the element values are constant. Over that elemental values are constant. Now it is a this is now looking like a circuit of lumped elements. Now we can apply Kirchhoff voltage law. Okay, so calculate what is so the signal passes from voltage applied here. What is the voltage here? It is nothing but voltage applied here, and what is the voltage at this terminal, that we know how to calculate using a Ohm's Kirchhoff voltage law or current law. We can calculate. This is like nothing but a network. Okay, what is the voltage across this terminal? So that we know. So here, so this is a cascade connection of this. So if you know what is the voltage applied here, if you get a voltage whatever is here, okay, equation, you have to get the equation now. What is the voltage? This voltage, it depends upon these values. Is correct. Applied voltage is here. Voltage whatever you are observing depends upon these values here. So get that value. How to get that? Apply Kirchhoff voltage law or current law to get the value of this. Okay. So now here, see, once we know it is because it is a cascade connection of such, assume we will be getting this value. What is this? So automatically, if you have a expression for this, you can repeatedly apply that over the line, because it is a cascade connection of such sections. Okay. So that's why. So to get our expression, so using this small elemental length, we will be finding voltage expressions for this, and that we can apply for the overall this transmission. Okay, so now apply voltage law, Kirchhoff voltage law to get a voltage here. How to get here? Or a current, I want a current or a voltage. How to apply Kirchhoff voltage law or a current? How to get this value? If you know this, because there are all are unknowns. Okay. Apply Kirchhoff voltage law and Kirchhoff current law. First we will apply Kirchhoff voltage law like this. To the loop, you take a loop like this. This is the loop. Okay, this is a network here. Transmission line, tiny, small, infinitesimal one behaving like a circuit here. This is a circuit here. Apply Kirchhoff voltage law. So if you apply Kirchhoff voltage law to this, what is that? It is V of x comma t. This is the right hand side here. V of x comma t between these two terms. Then the current flows through this L into delta x. What is that? I of x comma t r into delta x, voltage across this, and voltage across this. So V of x comma t, it is equal to voltage across this plus this. Is correct? Apply Kirchhoff voltage law. This voltage looking between these two terminal, at this terminal, it is equal to the voltage across this. Voltage across this is current flowing through this, and current flowing through this, voltage across this, and voltage across this. So this is what V of x comma t. What is this? This is the voltage across resistance. Voltage across resistance is, we know current, general it is I of x comma t, R into delta x, this first term. And what is the voltage across this? That is L into delta x. It is a derivative of x comma, don't simply it is R L delta x into x comma t. Voltage across inductor. Voltage across inductor is given by this value. Okay, differentiation of current multiplied by inductor value, plus voltage across this combination of conductor and capacitor. Voltage across this, we let it as V of x plus delta x comma t, voltage across this two terminal here, that is the voltage across this, that is so you simply keep it as like this only, V of x plus delta x comma t. Okay, that is a Kirchhoff voltage law. Voltage across this, voltage across this, voltage across this, voltage across this, we kept it as this one. So addition of these three voltages equal to this. So that is a V of x comma t. V of x comma t equal to voltage across resistance, voltage across inductor, voltage across the terminal. This simply we generally kept it as a this value. Okay. So now rearranging this equation. Okay. Hello, is it audible?
No.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
Okay. In the next class we will continue this. Okay.